In the previous two lectures, we explored the use of if statements to test multiple and complex conditions. We now know that Excel reads the formula from left to right, and that each condition is tested until a true result is encountered, at which point the result is displayed or executed. If none of the conditions encountered in the formula are found to be true, then the default outcome at the end of the formula is executed. In other words, the final value of false element in the formula. But even with nested if statements, you are only testing one condition at a time. So what do you do if you want to test multiple conditions simultaneously? Say, for example, in our house buying situation, we need to have the money to buy, but we also need to have the agreement of our partner to the purchase. Here we need to test two conditions at the same time, and both conditions have to be true in order to proceed. So we must 1, have the money, and 2, have the agreement of our partner. Situations like this can be dealt with easily by using an AND statement. The basic structure of an AND statement is as follows. You can see from this structure that you can have multiple conditions. You are not limited to 2 only. So in our example, we need an AND statement as follows. We need an equal to, we need an AND, which is the function we're going to use, and then in brackets we would have to have one condition, which would be have the money, and comma, and then the second condition, partner agrees, and then we close the bracket. The way it works is that if both conditions are true, then the formula returns or displays the word true. If either one or both of the conditions are false, then the formula returns the word false. Let's look at a numerical example and build upon the one we used in the previous lectures. Now I'm going to change my grade structure because the students are now required to pass an exam, but they're also required to pass a continuous assessment, or CA, which takes place during the semester. For the students to get a pass grade, they must get more than 40 marks in both the exam and the CA. Poor students. So writing this down in English, the structure of the formula would be as follows. Equal to and, bracket, exam mark greater than 40, comma, CA mark greater than 40, and then we close the bracket. If both conditions are true, then we will get the word true appearing. If either of the conditions is false, then we will get false. How do we translate this into an Excel formula? Let's look at the component parts. 1. What we're going to do is put the value of the exam mark into cell A2, and we will put the value of the CA mark into cell C2. Next, we need to decide where we will put the formula. Let's put it in cell A6. This is where the result is going to appear. So now our formula is going to test the contents of cells A2 and C2 simultaneously. So the first thing we need is an equals to sign. Next, we need to tell Excel which function we're going to use. In this case, it's the AND statement. Next, we need an opening bracket for the formula. Now we need to enter the conditions. So what are the conditions? Well, the first condition is whether the contents of A2 are greater than 40. And the second condition is whether the contents of cell C2 is greater than 40. So we click on cell A2 and type greater than 40. That's the first condition. We now have to put in a comma so as to separate the conditions. Now we click on cell C2 and type greater than 40. And that's the second condition taken care of. And finally, we need to close the formula with a closing bracket. Now, of course, you need to test if your formula is working. So let's put 45 into both A2 and C2. The result is that the word true appears in cell A6 because both conditions are true. Put 25 in cell A2. The result is now false because both conditions are not true. As I said in an earlier lecture, it's always a good idea to test at the boundaries. And so what we'll do now is test on the boundaries for the conditions that we've put into the formula. So let's put 40 into each cell and test the result. Make sure that you're satisfied that it works. Remember that you can put as many conditions inside the brackets as you like, but for the formula to return true, all of the conditions must be true. If any one of them are false, then the formula will stop working and the word false will be returned.